Hello, YouTube viewers. Jaylbayt here with another episode of Master of Orion. We're playing as the Darlock race. Our merchants and spies are in some trouble, I think. The Meklar have called us into war against the Saakra, and since we've been wanting all game to keep a good relation with them, we agreed to it. Because the Meklar typically have very good forces, although then we checked and found out they have the worst military force aside from us, and they're attacking the Saakra, who's the second most powerful military force in the galaxy. Those bastards. Anyways, so we haven't had ships go up and make contact with the Saakra worlds directly, so we can't send spies over there yet. I still think that's something that needs to change, although it does, I guess, help prevent spying for a little while. But we did get an alliance with the Meklar, and we met the Klakon in the last episode.
Why do you call on the Hive?
Well, because we want to negotiate. First off, how about we establish embassies?
We accept. We are listening.
And then, how about we do, what do you want for your trade charts? Or your...
The Hive does not covet. We are rejoiced.
Hooray.
We are listening.
And then we're going to get a trade treaty.
We are rejoiced.
Beautiful. So, diplomacy still works. We're still doing our diplomatic stuff. But, orbital shipyards. Now that we're at war, orbital shipyards might be a good idea. What would you like? How about a moon lab?
We are loath to repeat ourselves.
So they don't want to do that. So what would make this work? They want a bunch of credits. Now something I've never tried before is changing the credit amount to be a little bit lower to see if maybe they're cool with a lower credit payment, even though that should be a fair trade. Look, bug eyes. I'm still doing the voiceover, but this will be the last episode where I'm recording my voice after the episode was recorded. And so I do this, I'm like, cool, it's going to work. And then they're like, nope, no, it's not. And they just close out relations with us. So I'm like, oh, crap. All right. But it doesn't look like they lost any... doesn't look like they lost any disposition. They just decided not to continue the discussion while we were trying to renegotiate. So the lack of renegotiation skills in the diplomacy is something that I think they need to work on. That definitely needs to be a thing. And there needs to be a margin of, I would say, there needs to be a margin that is still acceptable. Like they'll propose something high, and then there needs to be a margin of acceptable return. A high and a low. Although I do think they should keep that in. If like you go too low on your renegotiation, they'll just be like, no, and close out the diplomatic communication with you. At this point, I'm thinking about colonizing a planet that actually has some resources, because if we're going to war, we're going to need, and if we do have to make ships and stuff, we're going to need a planet that has some pretty decent mineral resources. So I'm looking at it. Ulgar seems pretty good. It's small, but it's ultra rich and it's an ocean. Sargon Prime would be really good because it's an ultra rich, but it's a barren. And so we'd probably have to do some upgrades, some terraforming. Now, one of the cool things, because the Primordia system is so well abundant, is that if we did colonize like Sargon or what was the other one? Can't remember. Ulgar. Then we could send some troop transports fairly quickly. That small radiated ultra rich. It has dark quartz, which gives a little bit of extra production, but it's not really better than Sargon. Corbo looks pretty decent because it's got 2 planets there that are ultra rich, even though they're both small. And one has a moon, so that we could do the orbital or the orbital construction base. But again, they're pretty crap biomes, and so we would have to do some work. I think Sargon or Ulgar is going to be the best, and I think I'm leaning towards Ulgar because it's still got good production tiles, but it's already at an ocean level. Ultra-rich volcanic could work. We've done that before. The only problem with volcanics is that there's nowhere to go with them. That's one of the things that makes the silicoids so good, is they can turn volcanic planets into uber planets. So they get to those, they can get those ultra-rich volcanic planets and just own face. So since we're not going to get the antimatter fusion drives, or the antimatter drives, I'd go with fusion beams here, because we're going to get antimatter bombs soon enough, which are better than the fusion bombs. That, and we're not really planning on bombing anything anyways. Check on my, or make sure to upgrade my other space factory down here. And soonish, I think soonish, we'll be able to start doing jump gates, which will really help to connect the two sides of our empire here. Although jump gates aren't instantaneous like they used to be in Master of Orion 2. In Master of Orion 2, once you had a jump gate at a planet, it was literally one turn from one planet to the other. And now it creates a wormhole between, or a star lane between those 2 points, which does cut out some time, because it's, as the crow flies or whatever. But I still think it needs to be a little bit better. I guess with the super upgraded engines and stuff, it would be pretty fast, but I don't know. We've got Alpha ready at Andromeda. Acquire data for us, Alpha, and don't get caught. There may still be hope. There's Pirate Base. Hey, what do you know? Pirates everywhere. It's so annoying. Our ship, our little pirate hunters, should be well on their way to destroying. So that one's okay to upgrade. I don't know why. Oh, yes. So we redesigned the ship, and then I sent that one down to get upgraded. And then I was like, why am I sending that space factory over there? And then I realized I had actually sent it all the way up to Saakra space. So luckily for us, I noticed it before it got into Saakra space. Alright, go kill this pirate base. Next turn. I mean, look, when half of your pop-ups are pirate fleet detected, you got to do something about the pirates. Feels like the Caribbean in 1600s. I think that's about when there was the big pirate menace in the Caribbean. It was in the 1600s? Maybe the 1700s. Whatever hundreds. So I'm at Asia, looking at what else we need to build, and I see the starbase, and I'm really tempted to buy out that Astra University. But then I realize, we're going to need to clean up some pollution and other things, so let's go. Primodius 3, again, just adding to research. The production is not worth the manpower. Like, even with the Neutron Collider, which adds 1 to it, and then maybe Robo-Miners, which adds another 2, then maybe.
The destruction of the pirate base has left several...
Yay! Pirate base destroyed! Gain 60 credits. Keep doing it. We need to murder them all. Pirates are a plague on the galaxy. Like, I'm okay with... I mean, everybody wants to be a pirate, right? Pirates are cool. Except, they're not cool. So, we got successful strike on Lear, which is good. Our Cylon treaty has ended. What do you know? There's more pirates everywhere.
One more veil is drawn from the truth hindmost.
And now we have ion drives.
Secrets from the cabal hindmost.
So everything that I can't actually upgrade manually, I'm going to upgrade here. Because I want them all to have the increased ion drives. But because there was like a miniaturization or something like that, it's wanting to reconfigure my weapon loadouts. Wants to add a bunch of crap to our bomber that would just make it way more expensive than it needs to be. So then we head over to get our stealth suit. So we're going to start researching that. Yep. Good. We have a space factory somewhere that we can upgrade. And so it's time for ship design. Ship design time, where we basically just are going to go through and upgrade the engines and the armor. Oh, and the shields, if they don't have the shield upgraded. Because Class 3 shields, guys, is awesome. We've got our mist that we need to do. Core systems. Yep. Class 3 shield. Titanium armor. Just needs, yeah, ion drive. Done. The rat. You dirty rat. You had to waltz in here and kill my brother. Cool. And then I think, you know what? Now might be a good time to design a cruiser. Let's upgrade what we can. Yep, good deal. And then let's take a look at the research tree to see if there's anything that I specifically want on our cruiser, tech-wise. And I'm like, not particularly, you know. There's stuff that we can upgrade later because we won't have built a cruiser yet, I don't think. But let's design a cruiser. Why not? We have not the command points to build one, but hey, just in case we're at war, right? What am I? I have no idea what I'm doing or what I'm talking about right now. Get on with it. Hit the edit button. What? Past me, this is future you. What the freak are you doing? Oh my gosh, I have no memory of any of this. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I think maybe I'm talking about cruisers being that we wanted to be I have no idea, actually. Don't listen to me. I keep going up to the credits and to total hull points for some reason and other things. I have no ideas. Oh, I know what's happening. No, maybe I don't. I don't know. Alright, so we're going to make a cruiser. I don't know what I was doing before. Who knows? Oh, I do remember. Yes, I do. Okay. I'm an idiot. So, I had tabbed out to look up one of our viewers' comments on ship names so that I could pick out the ship name. Oh, I am an idiot. Don't worry about me, guys. So here we go. To the cruiser build. I decided that I think that we can maybe put on some grav cannons. The fusion beams they're miniaturized. The ion pulse beams are miniaturized, but the problem is that their damage is so low that now races should probably start having shielding. And with lower damage, usually the shield absorbs the minimum amount. And so even if you're shooting a laser, 15 times at 5 damage, if the shield absorbs 5 damage, it'll never penetrate the shield. And so that's kind of why mass drivers are always so good, is because they're shield piercing. They will always do 16 damage no matter what. But the graviton cannon is doing like 40. So at 12 space. Now it's a lot more expensive than mass drivers. It's one of the reasons why mass drivers are so good, is that they are very relevant for a long part of the game. As far as an energy cannon goes, they pierce the shield, so their damage is never irrelevant, and they're very cheap, like very cheap. Three production for a single mass driver, as opposed to the 20 for this graviton cannon. But the graviton cannon does 40 damage, whereas the mass driver does 16. So even with the spatial requirements, graviton cannons are pretty boss. I still put on mass drivers in a point defense. I was trying to find out what those things were, but I still put on mass drivers as a point defense because they're still the best point defense that we have. But I decided to load this thing up with graviton cannons to get some serious DPS going. And you can see there on the right, or right there, total DPS, we're at like 133. That's a lot of DPS. Damage per second. And we can still fit on 14 point defense mass drivers, which should keep it fairly close. Now I look at the different model. The model looks really cool. It's like that very sleek arrow, triangular design. Looks kind of Imperial Star Destroyer-ish, which is cool. It has a very cool look, but I really like the unique look of the kind of the fin shape of the ships. And then we'll throw on our design C because it makes it look kind of like Tron. And then I grumble because they reset my ship name again. So, the Sinister has been made. Yeah, look at it. All its glory and majesty. Beautiful. We have not the command points to build one, really. 41 turns. No problem. I decided to build it anyways. Oh no, I think I'm just talking about how much it is. So, it's 4 command points, and it would cost us 4,000 credits to build outright. So, that's kind of why we need a planet that is going to allow us to have some decent mineral richness so that we can build those types of ships fairly quickly. Delta was successful in his strike mission, and now I decide to kind of go sabotage and do kind of a back and forth. Sabotage and strike, sabotage and strike. Especially once we get the stealth suits, because by the time the strike is over, our sabotage will have completed, and then we can strike again. Then I see a big cruiser here, and I'm like, oh, that's the big mamma jammas. They've already got cruisers. Now, we'll have to be careful. So that's our last command point, and I'm thinking, holy cow, we need to get some more command points going. So where can we start building star bases? I decided to buy out that Astra University and just queue up a star base. Got a star base queued up there. And so I go ahead and buy out that Astra University as well. Mostly because we have tons of cash and because I want to get those star bases up and going in case the Saakra come down and start trying to pounce our face. And you can see our research jumps up. We were at 90 before. And our research is up 32 points just from those 2 Astro Universities. So a 33% increase in our research in 1 turn. So good. Our scout is here, and we can now see Samson Prime, which is fantastic. And I'm hoping to get close enough to the Saghar system. Shagahar? So that I can see some of those planets too, so we can send spies over. Because the more planets we can see, the more spies we can send, and the faster we'll get, to be able to see what they're producing, what they're researching, all that good stuff. Back on Primodius 4, they have finished their stuff, and so I'm thinking, hey, you know what? Let's build a starbase for command points. And maybe a spaceport. Maybe a spaceport? No. I can't remember what I do. I think maybe I just start doing some research. Yeah. I queue up all the research. Because eventually that's what those planets are going to be. They're going to be just research hogs. And it's going to be fantastic. Because they have so much population and we can dump it all into research. Well, almost all. All into research minus a couple of food production workers. So I send our first dude over to Saakra. Tau has grown. You can see that we're making 43 research on 1 planet, and that's with 6 dudes. Just 6. It's pretty nuts. Go ahead and queue up some pollution cleaning, because after that starbase, they're going to need some pollution cleaning. We got a striker. And then I consider dropping this to 2 BC per pop per unit, because that gets rid of all of our strikers, but it drops our income. Our income is still over 200 per turn, which I think is good and still fair enough. So I go ahead and leave that and add in some more research, because I want to get our research going pretty quickly. So you can see with Primodius 4, we did build that neutron collider, which gives all those tiles 2 now instead of 1. It's still fairly crap, but it'll help get everything built faster. Which I think is important. The other thing is with production, even though they're low pop or they're poor mineral or whatever, they're large enough that if we do get enough of those tile boosting things, the sheer number of people that we can put onto those tiles will make up for the fact that it's low population. But we still have 127 research, so we are still cruising through stuff. You can see the Saakra are blowing up some Meklar ships, which doesn't make me feel good. Doesn't make me feel good at all, actually. Especially since they're probably going to blow up my scout once it reaches that point, but that's okay. Primodius 2 has grown. Awesome. Our fleet here is just chilling, I suppose. Just guard. It's fine. And I've realized that my pirate hunter is at its destination. And I'm probably going to skip using him for some reason because I forgot. He's in Wazna right now. What I may do is helps to look back at things. I may send a factory over to build a surveillance post over in the middle of kind of all that unused pirate or uncolonized area, so I can just kind of keep an eye on things if pirates pop up and whatnot. Nubilium there. Probably be a good spot for it. So we're out of production here on Primodius 3. So geosynchronous warehouse is the first thing I kind of want to build. 24 turns is quite a bit, but I think all of these planets are going to need one. Because we're pretty much going to buy out most of the stuff that we build on those planets. Because we're going to want everybody else into research. We're rarely going to want to actually do production on those planets with people. So here's something that's weird. It looks like our fleet is at that pirate base, but it's not telling us that it's idle. I think that's why I missed it. But it looks like we're out of time. Thank you guys for joining me. If you enjoyed the episode, please tap on that like button. It really helps me out, helps out the channel. And if you really enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe, share it with your friends, whatever you like. But I'd love to hear from you, hear your comments. But until next time, I've been Jaylbayt. You guys live free, game hard.